Getting started with the Pythagorean Theorem. You've probably heard of the Pythagorean Theorem. It's maybe the most famous rule in geometry. There's also a good chance that you know the formula that goes with it. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. But what we are interested in here, and what's really important, is what does that formula mean and how do we apply it? This will probably be easier to explain if we use actual numbers. Take a look at this triangle. You know the angle in the bottom corner is a 90-degree angle or a right angle because we put a little box there. That's the symbol for a right angle. The numbers you see, 4, 3, and 5, represent the lengths of each of the three sides. The bottom is 4 units long. The height is 3 units long. And the side across from the right angle, which we call the hypotenuse, is 5 units long. The Pythagorean theorem tells us that if we measure each side of a right triangle and square each of the 3 lengths, the squares of the 2 legs will add up to the square of the hypotenuse. What's more, this will only work if you have a right triangle. Look at the 3 numbers we have here. If you square 4, you get 16. If you square 3, you get 9. If you square 5, you get 25. 9 plus 16 equals 25. How is this useful? The Pythagorean theorem gives us a relationship between the lengths of the 3 sides of any right triangle. In math and in science and engineering, right triangles come up all the time, and we frequently have situations where we know the lengths of 2 sides of a triangle, and we want to find out the length of the third. Let's go back to the previous example, but this time let's pretend that we were only given the length of the 2 legs and not the length of the hypotenuse. How could we have used the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing part? First, take a look at the formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We know that in this case, a is 4 and b is 3. That just leaves c for us to figure out. So a squared is 16 and b squared is 9. We add up those 2 and we get 25. That means c squared is equal to 25. So we want to find a number that we can square and get 25. In other words, the square root of 25, which is 5. Now let's try it with one of the 2 legs missing. Let's say we were told that we have a right triangle with height 3 and hypotenuse 5. How would we figure out the base? Well, first we'd go back to our formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and plug in the numbers we know, in this case, b and c. This gives us a squared, well, a's the side we don't know, plus b squared, which is 9, equals c squared, which is 25. A squared plus 9 equals 25. If we subtract 9 from both sides, that gives us b squared equal to 16. And if we take the root of 16, that gives us b equals 4, which of course we already knew that was the answer, but this is how we do it if we didn't. Obviously, most problems with the Pythagorean theorem do not come out with nice rational whole number answers. we can expect to see a lot of answers like this, the square root of 7. But we'll talk more about that in another video.